So, the Captive Temple. Here we go. Book 7. We're just trudging along, but it doesn't feel like that. Maybe gliding along is the better. These first 8 books just glide. Fun fact, this has not much to do with the actual book, but this was the first one I found in Redding, California, thrifting. I remember we were with a friend in California for a little bit. Went to, Goodwill or whatever, and I found this. And I was like, I didn't really even know about Jedi Apprentice back when I got it.
The Doctor?
The Doctor? What do you mean?
Were we with Doctor?
No. Oh, yes. Doctor. He is Doctor. He plays...
Dr. Thorne?
He plays Wesson Games, the RPG, with us every week. And not every week. Every couple of weeks. I wish. And yeah, I was like, Doctor? He's not a doctor. He's like 20-something years old. Yes, but anyway, so fun fact, we got this when we were there. But Book 7 of Jedi Apprentice, The Captive Temple. Again, this is picking up right where it left off. Book 6 ended with the threat, the attack against Yoda's life. And so this is immediately following Obi-Wan's return to the temple. And you have the first major internal threat to the Jedi Temple in the series. And you're just on Coruscant this whole time.
You're literally in the Jedi Temple, I think, the whole time.
Yes.
Which... normally I feel like that would be like boring, but like I didn't even like realize that that we were on one location for an entire book. She did a great job writing it and keeping you very interested and invested.
Yeah, and because you go to oh goodness, what is it called? It's like it's something to do with like the Thousand Fountains. It's basically this area where they can go and like swim, and they can go and like be by waterfalls and all of this, and they even have like artificial sunlight and nighttime sky and all of this. And so there's these different environments where you're like, wow, that because you see the temple, it's huge. And I mean, I know it's depicted in other places, but at least in the book, you're like, wow, there's enough variety in the environment even. Yeah. And the plot is so intriguing that it just, you're not even thinking about anything.
I didn't even realize it till right now that I'm like, yeah, we were only in the Jedi Temple, I think, on this book.
Yeah, and so you do have you have the council, and there's a lot happening with the council in this book, and you do have Bant, Moore, and Siri, and then you have Bruck Chun, and then we will get to how he comes in, but you have Xanatos.
Dun dun dun.
And it's absolutely great. But basically, there's been the thefts, and then now there are these mysterious sabotages that are happening to disrupt the Jedi Temple, and the attacks are basically they're trying to figure out, like, man, they're trying to connect the dots and be like, what is going on, right? And I don't remember exactly what they're called, but then basically there's these really rare and powerful crystals that they figure out, hey, they're trying to steal this. And Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan, they're investigating these disturbances, and they uncovered that Xanatos, which is Qui-Gon's former Padawan, who has fallen, he's orchestrating the attacks. And Xanatos, they found, has manipulated Bruck Chun. He was from, I think, the very first book.
Yeah, Bruck's introduced in the first one.
Yeah, it was the kind of the bully with Obi-Wan. And so you have Xanatos manipulated Bruck Chun, who's kind of a resentful youngling because, he didn't get picked, be Padawan and all this, and basically he manipulates him. And
he definitely has some pain and some deep insecurity.
Yeah.
That's all I could think about.
And while Xanatos is not a Sith, he, as a fallen Jedi, he definitely toes that line and touches on the, like, corruption and pain and suffering and all of this.
Yeah.
But he's making Bruck aid him in this attack on the Jedi Temple. And you do have Qui-Gon. This needs to be a movie. There's all these like AI things happening right now. I'm like,
this whole series, I want Jedi Apprentice movies.
I'm like, who can we hire to make this? Or I might have to just learn it. But yeah, you have Qui-Gon confronting Xanatos, it's pretty dramatic and like it's pretty high stakes at a certain point, like literally on the edge of a building with all the air traffic on Coruscant and stuff. It's like, whoa, like you're holding your breath while you read it. But he drives him away from the temple, and Obi-Wan duels with Brooke Chun inside the temple. And basically Bant, she is
captured by Xanatos and Brooke.
Yes, and she is chained to the bottom of a lake, basically. And even though she's a Mon Calamarian,
she can't be underwater forever.
So it's this tension of like, Xanatos even plays on that, of like, hey, are you going to let them die? You're going to let Obi-Wan die? And all of this, right? And it's just really crazy, but Brooke ends up falling to his death, and that becomes a big thing in the first special edition. Like
we're reading right now.
You revisit that from a different angle in the future. But Xanatos' plans fail, and the temple is secured. There is a really crazy scene with Bant and Obi-Wan where the turbo lift that you mentioned, where basically it has all these like younglings, basically these little toddlers, and this kind of turbo lift stops and is manipulated. It's looks like it's gonna fall and all this, and it's gonna basically take the lives of all these little children. And so they have to do this really kind of daring thing, and the council has to come out and use the Force, and Obi-Wan's kind of a hero, but he kind of gets like
reprimanded.
Bant's like celebrated, and then Obi-Wan's like, you were impulsive, you did this wrong. And you're like, dang, man, they are rough on him right now.
Yeah, I felt bad for him right there.
But why don't you talk about Obi-Wan, because now he's post kind of the zealous arrogance of Melita Dan, and you do see him different. But why don't you talk about his character themes?
Yeah, I think he's a little still kind of defeated here. Obviously, we know he lost his friend, his very close friend, so he's working through that. He gave up, being a Jedi, and now he's welcomed back as like, I think just like he's not a Padawan yet. Like he's not an official Padawan, if I'm remembering correctly.
Yeah,
but he's like there.
Yeah, there's some. I don't know if Qui-Gon has accepted him back fully just yet.
Well, I don't think the council has either.
Yeah, I think that was part of the like discussions.
Because I think Qui-Gon accepts him before the council does.
Yeah, and so I don't know what's been. I don't think it's been formalized yet.
Yeah, so he's still dealing with that, and then he's trying to do the right thing, like we just talked about, and he gets reprimanded. He's like, "What? Like, can I do anything right?" So there's this like, almost like just this. He feels defeated. And he's still dealing with the consequences of his actions. He's also put in a position where he has to fight someone close to his age who they weren't necessarily friends, but they were like classmates. And at the same time, he has to save his friend who's chained to the bottom of the fountain water area. And so he's trying to do that. He's, Xanatos is there, his former master, I guess the best way to say it, is fighting Xanatos. So there's just a lot going on. There's a lot of conflict, and he's put in a tough situation. And then when Brooke falls, he does try to help him, and then I think that messes with him. Like, not that Brooke was this nice guy, but Obi-Wan didn't want him. That's not what Obi-Wan was trying to do. Obi-Wan was trying to save Bant and bring peace, not take life. And so now he has to deal with that as well.
This thing that they keep bringing up, which is really fascinating, is whenever Obi-Wan's confronted with death, is it keeps saying like Obi-Wan never got hardened to death. It was always incredibly difficult for him to witness violence and death.
Yeah, he says it multiple times. He's like, you never get used to it.
Yeah, and so he literally watches like him fall. He's trying to rescue him, and he like hits the rocks, and he watches him just instantly die. And it's just, you can just tell like, oh God, like even though there was violence towards him, is like even that wasn't easy for him.
Right. We also see that he learns that compassion does not negate responsibility, which is kind of just a through thread. We see him take his first step toward the burden of a lethal consequence.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's a lot going on. He's somewhat on the right track, but I think he wants things to go quicker. Then he's got all these other stressors he's dealing with. So a lot is put on him, but even in real life, when a lot's put on you, you're forced to mature quicker. So you still get to see that development in him, and him on the right path, even though he wants it quicker. And I think the council is making him wait to help him deal with that impulsivity and that like quickness. They're like trying to teach him patience. But this is Obi-Wan's first experience where victory carries irreversible loss.
Yeah.
So while they had victory, and while Brooke wasn't his like close friend, that wasn't his expected outcome or what he was desiring or wanting.
Yeah, and it is a line in the sand that's drawn where it's like nothing will be the same moving forward. With Qui-Gon, essentially you have he has to keep facing the reoccurring consequences of Xanatos' corruption, and he's realizing that it's not just some distant thing anymore. You actually have Xanatos coming to him.
Yeah,
totally different. He has to act really decisively to protect the order, and there's a lot of things where he just acts like instantly.
Mm-hmm.
And it just reminds me even of the Phantom Menace when Maul is heading towards him to take him out,
mm-hmm.
and he just tells like Anakin to get down,
mm-hmm.
and Anakin does, and then he just enters this fight in this whole sequence, right? It's like it feels a lot like that where he's just like boom, doesn't even think.
He's ready. He's just always ready to go. Yeah.
And he really has to deal with kind of regret that he carries
mm-hmm.
over Xanatos. And you can tell part of him, he wants Xanatos to be redeemed.
Yeah.
And he has to accept that that's just not going to happen.
Right.
He's just not going to get to redeem him. And so it does kind of move him from a place of guilt to acceptance, mm-hmm. where he realizes, okay, Xanatos isn't coming back.
Right.
Because when you read Xanatos, you're like, he's clearly a villain. And I know there's a comic series that you can see a bit more about Xanatos. But in this book, you're like, man, he's just so awful. You're like, why? How can Qui-Gon have this connection to him?
Mm-hmm.
And then you realize this was his former Padawan, you know? Right. And it makes a lot more sense.
Right.
When we think about Brooke Chun, right? Some of these... even though Brooks maybe he's not like a main character, he's a supporting character in this book. He feels overlooked, he's exploited, he's easily manipulated by promises of power.
Mm-hmm.
And basically he kind of shows how like insecurities can curdle into betrayal.
Yep.
It's very interesting.
I think Brooke is the antithesis
mm-hmm.
of like Obi-Wan. Is that the right word?
There you go. That's pretty good.
Oh, I said and I used the word correctly.
I think so.
Yeah, I think if Obi-Wan wasn't on this path in maturing and developing and humbling himself, he would have acted just like Brooke because of that impulsivity and his anger. So it was kind of cool to have those juxtapositions
mm-hmm.
of those two characters.
And what is fascinating too, the critiques Obi-Wan has of the temple and the Jedi Order and all of this, it's like, could Brooke Chun have been avoided, right? Like, could he have been saved and
mm-hmm.
safeguarded? And it's like that balance of autonomy and freedom,
right?
And like not controlling, and who knows, right? It's hard, but you kind of see where it's like, yeah, like, man, this shouldn't have happened. Like, how did Xanatos get to him in such a way, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, there's connections with Brooke's dad and all of this, but with Xanatos, essentially, he's not just going after the individuals. Like, he is, but he's also he's going against the institution.
Yeah.
He wants to burn it all down.
Mm-hmm.
And he operates through manipulation. He doesn't want as much direct confrontation. He wants to manipulate.
Yeah.
And he likes to corrupt from a distance. And this attack, I don't think his goal was purely like, I think if he could, he would have taken it all down. But instead he wanted to kind of shake them up and symbolically,
mm-hmm.
In a way, like bring that manipulation and fear.
Yeah.
He really wanted that. And so, because the Jedi Temple, they learned, hey, you guys, we're fallible, we're vulnerable, and the threats can rise from within very easily. And the younglings, they are not immune to temptation. That's a big thing. And so this is where
we see a lot more with Tall and Bant in this one. And is this I think it's the last one, 2J. Where does 2J come in?
2J is in this one.
Yeah.
2J is at first an annoying droid, and second,
I knew right off the bat. I'm like,
you're like 2J. 2J is a droid.
Yeah.
And Tall.
It's our help droid. Since she's blind, Yoda wanted her to have help, but it was a droid from Xanatos, so it was recording and giving all the information to him. But I knew immediately when this droid came in, I was like, nope, this is no C-3PO.
And the whole thing is Tall and Qui-Gon will be in these romantic spots where they're like talking and, you know, kind of trying to work through things. And I mean, it's not like full romantic, but you can feel the tension. And then 2J shows up and has to say, and they're like, freaking 2J. But then they're on some mission. And,
which is always...
Or not some mission, some kind of little espionage thing. They're trying to figure out what's going on and doing some tracking. And 2J blows cover, and it's like... 2J's role is saying, like, to Tall, like, oh, there's a branch 2 meters ahead of you, and, like, vocalizing. So while they're trying to be stealthy, this stupid droid is, like, spouting out. And I thought maybe this was just, like... you know, a dumb droid, but you saw the hooks there.
Yeah, I did not trust 2J from the beginning.
For the most part, you can realize with Jude Watson, nothing is like, if you look hard enough, you see it's a young adult novel. So you see what's going to be the twist. If you look hard enough, just pay attention to what she's writing about, you'll figure out what's going to happen to some degree. But yeah, this is where things do start to take a darker tone. Yeah. In the series. It kind of reminds me of like Harry Potter. You know, you start reading or watching Harry Potter, and as it goes on, it gets darker. Most young adult things, Hunger Games follows the same trend. The longer they go, and as you go down the story and the characters get older, the themes get a bit darker. Right. And it starts to happen here, and it just continues. Not to the point where it's like, oh wow, this is like too dark for kids, you know, but it definitely is showing just a pretty crazy story. But yeah, essentially this book is it's all about the most dangerous threats to the Jedi come not from the outside, but from the things that were not dealt with within. And it's a fantastic book. Yes. And it's got the pre-CGI Yoda on the cover. So even better. Cool.